Imagine this. It's the last hour of daylight on the final day of your hunt. You've been patient, careful, disciplined. And finally, a perfect broadside buck steps out at a distance you've practiced hundreds of times. You steady your breathing, squeeze the trigger, and the buck bolts. He runs hard, disappears into the timber, and the last thing you see is the white flash of his tail. The blood trail is thin, scattered, unpredictable, and within minutes, it's gone. Most hunters blame themselves. A bad shot, shaky nerves, wrong angle. But what if the real problem wasn't you at all? What if the problem was your caliber? Today we're looking at the hidden issue behind the .243 Winchester, a problem that ruins more hunts than most people realize, not because the .243 is a bad cartridge, but because hunters misunderstand what it can and cannot do. Welcome back to Firepower. Let's break down the truth behind one of America's most beloved yet most misused rifle calibers. To understand the .243 Winchester, we have to go back to the 1950s, a time when the hunting world was changing fast. In 1955, two companies released two competing 6mm cartridges. Winchester introduced the .143 Winchester, and Remington introduced the .244 Remington. Both were designed to be dual-purpose rounds, light enough for varmints, strong enough for deer. But only one succeeded. Remington made a fatal mistake. Their .244 Remington used a 1/12 twist rate, which stabilized lightweight varmint bullets beautifully, but failed to properly stabilize heavier 100-grain deer bullets. Winchester, meanwhile, chose a 110 twist, ensuring their new cartridge could handle both varmint loads and 100-grain soft points for deer hunting. And Winchester didn't just design a cartridge, they marketed it with precision. They chambered it in the Model 70, the Model 88, the Savage 99, and they pushed it hard as the perfect one-rifle solution for American families. The result: the .243 Winchester became a runaway success. The .244 Remington never recovered, even after being renamed the 6mm Remington with an improved twist rate. Winchester won the caliber war, not because their cartridge was objectively superior in every way, but because they aligned engineering, marketing, and rifle availability into one perfect strike. And so the .243 Winchester became a legend, a household name, a rite of passage. For millions of American hunters, it was their first center-fire rifle. Why? Because it's incredibly shooter-friendly. Light recoil, low noise, laser flat trajectory, easy accuracy for beginners. A cartridge that builds confidence quickly and perhaps too quickly. A typical .243 load pushes an 80-grain bullet at over 3,300 feet per second, or a 100-grain bullet around 2,960 feet per second. That speed produces a wonderfully flat trajectory and excellent accuracy inside normal hunting distances. For whitetail, antelope, coyotes, and similar game, the .243 performs beautifully when everything goes right. But here's where the real problem begins. The .243's strengths and ease of shooting often create a false sense of ability, especially for new hunters. They hit steel at 200 yards easily. They group well at the range. They assume the cartridge will carry them in the field, but physics doesn't care about confidence, and the .243 has two major limitations that too many hunters overlook. The first is energy retention. Inside 200 yards, the .243 is fantastic, but once you stretch it to 250 or 300 yards, the story changes. Light bullets shed energy fast. Wind starts to push them. Angles matter more, and suddenly, shot placement becomes absolutely unforgiving. A perfect shot. The .243 drops deer cleanly. But a slightly quartering angle, or a hit that's a couple inches too far back, or a frontal angle where penetration matters, now you're running out of margin. The smaller wound channel, limited penetration, and rapid energy loss combine into a recipe for wounded animals and difficult blood trails. And that's the heartbreaking part. The 243 doesn't ruin hunts because it fails. It ruins hunts because it has no forgiveness when the shot isn't perfect. At 150 yards, no problem. At 300 yards with a crosswind, completely different cartridge. The second major issue is barrel life. High velocity through a small bore equals throat erosion, and the 243 is famous for it. With repeated use, especially varmint shooting or frequent range time, accuracy can deteriorate after as few as 1,500 to 2,000 rounds, compared to a 308 that may last 5,000 to 8,000 rounds, or a 30-06 that might go even longer. The 243 burns through barrels quickly. For hunters who shoot only a box of ammunition each season, this may never be a factor. But for anyone who practices regularly, the long-term cost is real and often unexpected. But let's be clear. The 243 Winchester is not a bad cartridge. It's not weak. It's not ineffective. It's simply misunderstood. It is a precision tool, not an all-purpose hammer. It works extraordinarily well within its intended envelope, but outside that envelope, things fall apart fast. So what does the .243 do brilliantly? It excels at varmint hunting. It's phenomenal for whitetail in the woods or across open fields under 250 yards. It's mild, accurate, easy to shoot, perfect for youth hunters, and devastating when paired with the right bullet and proper shot placement. For controlled hunting scenarios, daylight shots, and steady rests, the 243 is nearly unbeatable. But what doesn't it do well? It struggles with oblique angles. It loses energy faster than mid-weight calibers. It produces narrow wound channels that reduce blood trail quality. It isn't ideal for bigger boned deer, long-range shots, or windy days in open country. And for hunters who push beyond the limits or who assume the 243 can do it all, the cartridge becomes a liability. And that's the lesson of this entire conversation. The 243 Winchester does not fail. Hunters fail the 243 when they misunderstand what it is designed to do. If you treat it like a precision instrument, something that rewards clean shooting and clear judgment, you'll never be disappointed. Keep shots inside 250 yards. Use premium bonded or partition-style bullets. Avoid steep quartering to angles. And never assume light recoil means unlimited capability. But if you treat the 243 like a one-size-fits-all solution, or ask it to perform high-risk shots at long distances, it will let you down. Not because it's flawed, but because it demands respect. Every caliber has boundaries. The .243's boundaries just happen to be tighter than most hunters realize. So here's the truth. The 243 Winchester is one of the finest deer and varmint cartridges ever created when used correctly. It shines with precision. It punishes sloppy shooting. It rewards discipline. It exposes overconfidence. And that's why so many hunts go wrong with it. The cartridge didn't change. The expectations did. Now it's your turn. Have you ever lost an animal with a 243? Do you believe it's the perfect youth caliber? Should new hunters start with something bigger, like a 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your experiences help every hunter watching this video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. Next episode, we're putting the 243 up against the 6mm Creedmoor to see which one truly deserves the modern crown. Thanks for watching Firepower. I'll see you in the next one.